Hello, everybody. This is Jason Sean Alexander, and this is another sketchbook tour. Again, pardon me. These are all my favorite sketchbooks are these kind of canvas cover ones. They have watercolor paper inside. Global Arts, I believe, is the company that makes them. And so for some reason, I normally don't ever really do that, but on these, for some reason, I just really started doing head sketches on the covers. And this Ray is my daughter. Maybe we were just coming up with names, I'm not sure. So for a while there, they were all kind of starting with the opening with apes. I just love apes and all that stuff, but who knows? But also I just think that it was funny. Pardon me. And of course, since it's a sketchbook, I have always notes. This one in particular is a list of blues musicians. All right, let's go. Let me see, what do we got here? 11, 19, 13. I don't know. That might have been from a photo. I guess it was from a photo. Not live or whatever. But so this is just more pen and ink. A lot of these were done with the Pilot parallel pens. That was pretty much not exclusive, but like that was my jam for a long time. And so this is my dad. Sketches of him. I don't know if these were study for something. This guy must have been a live drawing. Looks like some level of doctor office. So that's what sketchbooks are, man. They allow you to never get bored. So, you're sitting in that waiting room, and then that waiting room off the waiting room, you just start sketching every little thing. This, I believe, was from a live drawing at a comic convention. As usual, I tend to get bored with just drawing the models, and so I tend to draw the people drawing the models just as much. Rhea, I think we were really just playing. I don't know. Is it at that date? Yeah, we could have just been playing with the name. Like, it's funny to see my daughter's name written everywhere. These were probably live drawings from coffee shops. Who knows? But sometimes you just, cut loose. And deja vu from last year, it looks like I'm bitching about money, which makes sense. I think there's a couple of sketches that might even be in this book that are definitely complaining about money. More sketches. This is probably I don't know what I'm do where sometimes I just write dialogue, sometimes it's just random thoughts, so I'm not sure what some of these. This has the word scene in it, so I have no idea. I think this was probably just out of my head and just feeling that in the moment. This was a good friend and model. That's it, I guess. I don't know what the deal is with names or whatever, so I'm just gonna leave everything out. So a lot of sketchbooks have this, like, this is a whole composition with a tree in and of itself. A couple of false starts with, looks like what drawn my wife. Probably a coffee shop dude. Sometimes they're just little collections day after day. This was another homeless man, I believe, on the Santa Monica promenade. And so I really love playing with ink, washes, spatter, going in with like an opaque white. And if you use non-waterproof inks, you can't really do a gouache because it's always going to bleed through. So that's why a lot of these early sketchbooks, especially with the non-waterproof ink, it's white out. It's just purely, just straight out white out. We have L here. You know what? We'll do this next time. L means left. And so I had surgery on my right shoulder years ago, and it wound up, they had to strap my arm basically to me for a couple of months, which means I couldn't draw. And it took maybe a week before I started to go insane. And so I began drawing with my left hand. And I have an entire sketchbook, a small sketchbook full of left-hand drawings. And this was done at a time when, and I still, you know what, it is a practice I admittedly have let drop off, but I will still draw a sketch from time to time with my left hand, and those are the little circle L's. There might be a couple of them in here, I'm not sure, or not, but either way, like, I'm always trying to keep my left hand stronger as well, just in case the right one goes kaput. It was kind of an accidental discovery of being ambidextrous on some level. Look at this. This is for Rodney, over a goddamn hour and a half late. That was one of our early dinner meetings, and I was unthrilled with his lateness. That was it. It was still a lovely time. Sketches, just manic, emotional sketches. This is a study. This was a study for a larger piece that it inevitably exhibited through, I believe, 101 exhibit. Let me see, 12, 10, 13. 12, 10, 13. Yeah. So that means, yeah, we were really figuring out my daughter's needs this time. It's fun. Tired and knocked up. Oh yeah, bun in the oven, pie in the oven. Oh yeah, that was the beginning of my belly. I'm only just now hacking that down. On the 30, woman at the bar. See, these are always my little notes for just. There's an artist, Jerome Whitkin, and the twin brother of the photographer Joel Peter Whitkin. But Jerome Whitkin, when he did his sketches and studies, he would put information down in these kind of curves, and I really was fond of that. So there's a lot of my drawings that I write the information down that way. Another guy at a coffee shop, I'm sure. Guy at a bar or coffee shop. I'm assuming this was out of my head because I would consider not well drawn. I'm hoping we'll just cut out that little phone number. All right, more out of my head sketching. When I say out of my head, I just mean like, you know, and I don't think cartooning is the right word. I think I looked it up one day because I thought cartooning was, but I believe it's literally just called freehand, unless you're genuinely trying to exaggerate or make cartoon whatever. Freehand drawing. I use a lot of reference and I use a lot of models, but when I don't, the drawings tend to become very almost cartoony and pretty expressive. What do you guys think? You've seen a lot of the realistic stuff. What do you think about the kinds of drawings and stuff like that without reference? This is focus your eye. This was literally, I guess, just drawing upon drawing until something started. I don't know. Sometimes if you don't like a drawing, you just draw on top of it. Sometimes it winds up making sense and sometimes doesn't. And I genuinely love this kind of a thing. I think there's a lot of thinking in here. I think there's, man, I haven't visited these in a long time either, so this is really kind of cool. This is the kind of thing I do without reference. I blame probably Egan Schiele, but I just love gaunt shapes. And I like shapes, forms in any measure. This was a whole night of watching multiple musicians do live music. And so I was really just kind of capturing little moments here and there live. It was fun. I'm the dork that's, I'm going to be 50 soon, and I'm still the guy bringing the sketchbook to the restaurant, doodling my thoughts and stuff like that. There's math. Remedial math. This is as far as I go in math. I'm having to relearn math now that I have children. So this is the back of my wife's head. This looks like the sad face for Jason. This is fine. This is a brush pen. There's something that's just kind of about the line. I like line with a little bit more edge, a little bit more something to it. That may not be a brush pen. That might be a parallel. I don't know. Not great. Here we go. Here's a fun one of my wife. Let me see. She's texting and doing something. 2 fingers. I have no idea. Oh, drawing. I'm drawing with 2 fingers. My hand's in my thumb is in a splint. You know what? A lot of stuff goes on, man. So there you go. Who knows? But this is a nice little drawing. I like that. Did I flip it? I flipped it the wrong way. Here we go. Exercise. That's it. Not every sketch has to be thought out, and not every sketch has to be finished. Sometimes it's literally just like, I need to get my hand warmed up. Literally, that's it. Not a great drawing, but definitely a good warm-up. Live model. Live art model. Parallel 10. Yes. Maybe. Part of that looks like a quill. That's quill and ink, man. God, I love quill and ink. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good drawing. It's nice. I haven't seen that one in a long time. This is definitely a parallel pen. See, again, it was just not studying baby stuff. Yeah. Very chill. Very, very great gestures in my life. These were just, I mean, anytime I kind of see this kind of thing, I'm like, I started trying to draw water. Now I can pretty much draw out of my head. These are just meanderings. Like something like this, if I would have probably kept the sketchbook longer or like used it longer, I would have gone in and just done a whole drawing on top of all of these. This, I think, it doesn't look like I had reference, but I could be wrong. Ooh, another live music night. Another live music night. Names and all this numbers, probably the musicians. So little tiny bars, you know, like, I keep doing that. Okay, little tiny bars here and there. And so this is all parallel pen, hitting it with water and watching what the water does to it and how it pulls up. And then this is just a mess. This is honestly just a mess. This might look cool and painty, but it's a mess. It's just me just trying to fix something and it doesn't fix, and it's just, but luckily sometimes messes look like you know what you're doing. Just try to figure out, honestly, I remember this one just, this was me just trying to figure out how to make energy, you know, trying to make a bike look like it was moving. This is my buddy. I started this thing, but then my buddy Dave Crosland, must have been a drink and draw, took over. Talented dude. More freehand drawing, just experimenting, playing with line, sculpting. Like even if you're drawing without reference or whatever, like it's always good practice just to try to sculpt. Yeah, that kind of, even though I wasn't really looking at him at the time, like feels like it has little Brad Holland qualities here and there. If I messed that up, Brad Holland is what I just said. You know what? That actually kind of has a Brad Holland quality too. A lot of cross hatching. Rest in peace. This is restaurant reference or coffee shop. And then I do remember this was a drink and draw where I was having a chat about if my own drawings were good enough without reference. That was interesting. Because that was without reference. I was just finding out. I don't know what this little... Sometimes you just, okay, panel ideas. That's it. That's the end of yet another sketchbook. There's plenty more. We'll go through those as well. And next time we'll go, hopefully, maybe through the left-handed sketchbook. Cheers.